Well, good evening. I'd like to talk to you tonight about moving from Unit 1 to Unit 2. A little bit of a summary of what we were talking about in Unit 1, and then moving ahead, letting you know what we have to work with this week, and maybe a little bit of what you can expect in the coming weeks. So just take a few minutes to back up and talk about Unit 1. Unit 1, the discussion board, by the way, for an opening week discussion board, was really, really good. Actually, beyond good. It was one of the better ones I've seen in a long time. People did an awful lot of thinking, which is what's most important to me. People participated very, very openly and very thoroughly. A few people are jumping in late. I'm going to warn you right now. That's going to hurt your ability to really get the most out of the discussion. Please don't wait till Saturday or Sunday. I'll put up some guidelines about what will really help out. But I was very, very pleased with what I see, and I think we got each other thinking, which is the most important part. One of the things that everybody challenged me with, I say everybody, a significant number, is, gee, Professor, what do you think about the concept that I was throwing out at the end of the week about vision and values and mission, and where did I see the hierarchy going? And I think I published a little piece in the discussion board, but I'd just like to mention it here tonight. For me, really, it's vision is at the top of the pile. Vision defines who you are, who you want to be, who you're going to become, what you do. It's what inspires people to develop passion. Somebody mentioned in the discussion board how they felt that passion was what got results. That's how people worked hard. And I think vision is what inspires passion. Missions, to me, are just big, big goals. They are things that are meant to be accomplished. And as I said in my discussion board posting, vision is something you want to share with the world. You want to share it with everybody, your employees, your constituents, your suppliers, everybody. Mission, maybe not so much. You might not want to share it with you. Do you really want your competitors knowing what you're doing? And then surrounding both of these concepts is where the deal of values comes in. And values to me are sets of principles. Most people picked up on them as ethical and moral principles, but they're really just operating principles. These are the things that say, this is how we behave. This is how we do business. If it's outside of that, we're just not even going to consider it. And that's what I think values really help you more than anything. In some cases, they help you know what not to do. We're not even going to take any time or effort to even consider certain actions because they're just not within our values. Now, one last point about vision. When people are struggling with it, the way I really like to describe it to people is think of a little kid who comes to you and says, gee, I want to be a fireman. What does the little kid play with? Well, fire trucks and fire hats, and he has pictures of firemen, and maybe he runs around the house lighting fires so he can hose them down and put them out, okay? Everything he does is he's just consumed with being a fireman. And in fact, if you really, really pushed it, the child might even tell you not that they want to be a fireman, it's that they are a fireman. That's vision. That is their vision of what they are. The difference between adults and adult organizations and the child who wants to be a fireman, next week that kid wants to be an airplane pilot. Okay. Week after that, he wants to be a doctor. We don't have that luxury of that short attention span. We need to develop visions of what our organizations are and will be and need to be, of who we are and what we will be, and then as adults, as critical thinking individuals, we hold on to that for not hours, not days, not even decades, but for a long, long time. Okay, that's my closing remarks on vision and values, and you know what? We're going to come back to them. You'll find we come back to them a lot. This week, you're going to find yourself moving forward into now a little bit more practical areas. We're going to start talking about competitive advantage. How do you obtain and build competitive advantage? I think just the words tell you quite a bit. What are you trying to get in developing strategy? You're trying to leverage your resources, your talents, your skills, everything that you have in order to gain an advantage over your competition. And so this week, as you can see, we're going to have slow coming up. I caution you, Blackboard's misbehaving tonight. You're going to see we have more Michael Porter. Michael Porter is definitely one of the leading architects of the thoughts on competitive advantage. He's been at it for about 30 years. And what I'd like you to concentrate on is his 5 forces model. You'll see it referenced in the text in Chapter 4. We're skipping up to Chapter 4. And in the Chapter 4 PowerPoint, you'll see things on Michael Porter's 5 forces model. He's going to talk about long-term strategy. Many of you were kind of intrigued by Tom Peters. I do have a piece in here from Tom Peters. I've pulled a couple of pieces out from previous classes. I think I was just putting things in to prove that I could. I'm going to concentrate on these, the major points this week. As was the practice last week, I'm going to wait a day or so before adding the discussion board because I'd like you to come ahead and read, watch, listen, think before we jump in and talk about things that maybe we're a little excited about but not yet familiar with yet. So that's why I do it. Look for a discussion board question, maybe Tuesday night, certainly no later than Wednesday morning, but that's when you'll get it. And this week we're going to spend more time, I think, putting, as I said earlier, some guidelines and some guideposts about how we handle the discussion. Later on this week, I'm sure, in addition to Michael Porter and Tom Peters, you'll probably get more of my favorite speaker, me, and I'll have some things I want to say on here. A note you should be aware of, the PowerPoint version I just switched to, and this is Tuesday evening at about 7 o'clock. I put in the instructor's version of the PowerPoint, because there's essentially the instructor's cheat sheet notes are in there, and these notes are going to help you pick up a lot more from the PowerPoint and make some references back to the text and just explain a lot more information in there. So you now are privy to the instructor's version. Use it, and I think there's just more information there. If there's any questions as we go forward, I think folks have learned where to get me, or if you want to just put a general question, go right to the comments and questions section of the discussion board. We're making the progress I expected us to make. I think we're right where I wanted us to be after the first week. And by the end of this week, I'm going to be introducing you to the quote major project that is the bulk of what this course is going to be about, and the major work product effort that's going to come out of here. So you'll have that this week. We're starting in on competitive advantage. You'll see, I believe, how the week 1 material carries over, and of course, if there's any questions, please contact me. Thank you very much.